sponsored by Fire Chicken Racing Team.
We don't have any lights or what? We have the lights down there or what? See what happens?
Smoked himself out!
Bear with me, the feedback of looking at the speakers on top of the session underneath that track. There are head barriers that she's in it, just like there are other speakers over there. Hopefully, checking it in the car track.
Duster, 349 cubic inch Dodge powered Duster. Leonard Strauss earlier went 19.00 on his first licensing run, 13.90 on the second.
No, actually, the guys they're out there this week. I thought this was not the point. You got something that's there this week.
Leonard Strauss staging up that pretty little Duster, super gas type car, as he works towards his NHRA competition license. Starter Jack Sandy just going over a little bit of staging technique with Leonard from Brainerd. Leonard goes through at 1181. 1181 for Strauss, 111.52 miles an hour. We have one more car making some license. Eliminator. Over the second lane at 380 cubic inch motor in Brian's car. Tower lane, Frank Safanis. Frank Safanis out of Woodlands, Manitoba. Ken's Custom Coffee Speed Shop. Sponsored 1970 and a half Camaro SS 396. 61 cubic inch Chevrolet motor running on alcohol. Frank Safanis tower lane dialed in at a 958 in his Camaro. Over in the spectator lane, Brian Wheatley's dragster dialed in at a 901. So 958 in the tower lane for the Camaro, a 901. Frank Safanis, a 476 reaction time to Wheatley's 487. Getting there first, tower lane, Frank Safanis goes 946, which is a breakout at a 958 dial-in. Brian Wheatley also breaks out by less. Brian Wheatley will take the win. He goes 898 on a 901 dial-in. Losing 946 for Safanis on a 958 dial-in. Frank Safanis 1200 under the dial-in. Brian Wheatley a little over 300. So Brian Wheatley will take the win in his dragster. Next pair up, tower lane, 1065 dial-in for Dennis Ellison's dragster. Chevy, Winnipeg over in the spectator lane at 10 dial-in for Corey Reines. 74 Plymouth Duster out of Moorhead, Minnesota, dialed at a 1088. Tower lane at 1065 for Elliston, a 1088 spectator lane for Reines. Round one, Super Eliminator. Dennis Elliston, tower lane, a 425 reaction time to Reines' 464. Elliston gets there first. 425 reaction time, and Elliston goes 1066 on a 1065 dial-in for the win. Losing 1086 for the Duster on a 1088 dial-in. So Dennis Elliston, a 425 reaction time, he goes 1066 on a 10. Last time it was a double breakout final between Calvin Bergic and Kevin Richardson. They're going to go at it again. These dial-ins are almost identical. This will be a driver's race, to say the least. The Auto Parts Center, Gary's Racing Tram sponsored dragster, 355 cubic inch Chevrolet motor in the Team Trank Auto Parts Center car. The Mark Spitzer chassis runs 750 CFM Holley carburetor on that small block Chevrolet. He's going to be dialed in at a 902 spectator lane, Richardson and Perron. Kevin Richardson does the driving. John Fuzzy Perron turns the wrenches on the Super Shop sponsored dragster. The Don Ness chassis, 370 cubic inch small block Chevrolet motor. Kevin Richardson's going to be dialed in at 901. Tower lane, Kelvin Bergic, a 902. Spectator lane, Kevin Richardson, a 901. This is round one Super Eliminator here at Dragways International Superbike Sunday. A 902 dial-in for Kelvin Bergic. Over in the spectator lane, a 901 dial-in. Kelvin Bergic, a 403 reaction time. Kelvin Bergic takes the win, a 403 reaction time. He goes 909 at 142 miles an hour on a 902 dial-in. Losing 896 for Kevin Richardson on a 901 dial-in. Kelvin Bergic, 403 reaction time. 3 1,000 off a perfect fight. So the Team Trank Auto Parts Center dragster wins for the second week in a row against Kevin Richardson. Come back into round two. competition out of Dougal, Manitoba will be Danny Panchishin. Chevrolet powered Camaro. Dan runs a 5-speed transmission. Dan will be dialed at a 10:05 here in the power lane. Over in the spectator lane, Wally Stelmack, 9:02. 1.03-second head start. Going to go to Panchishin's door slammer. See if that dragster can chase him down. The dragster a 4:55 reaction time to Panchishin's 5:23. Wally Stelmack takes the win. The dragster goes 9:16 on a 9:02 dial-in for the win at 141 miles an hour. Losing 10:14 for Panchishin on a 10:05 dial-in. 10:14 at 136 miles an hour. Stelmack's reaction time of the dragster of 4:55 to Panchishin's 5:23. Spectator lane, Tom Dudar in his dragster, 89 chassis craft, dragster, 427 cubic inch Chevrolet motor. Tom sponsored by Ford Richmond Service. He'll dial at an 887. Tower lane, the Doctor Who Mustang. Drag City sponsored 83 Mustang, 287 cubic inch Chevrolet motor. Brian Preisinger's Mustang will be dialed at a 998. So Tower lane, the Mustang, a 998 dial in. Red light on Tom Dudar, red light. So Brian Preisinger and the Doctor Who Mustang will take the automatic win. Preisinger goes 997 with an 8 for the win at 130.62 miles an hour. On the rear. Sponsored rear engine dragster, an S&W chassis car, 440 cubic inch Dodge motor in the car, running the B1 cylinder head. Kevin Dick's dragster back in 1982 was running a dragster in NHR Eliminator, former world record holder, now running in the brackets, the 440 B1 Power lane, Mark Bonnie Gothrop, Riverbend Motor Sales, Porter quickly, minimum 76 Pinto. Gothrop will be dialed in at 1066 in the power lane. Spectator lane, Kevin Dick will be dialed in at an 855. 2.11 second head start is going to go to the Pinto. See if Dick's dragster can chase him down. 1066 in the power lane at 855 over the spectator lane. Mark Gothrop's Pinto, Kevin Dick's dragster. Kevin Dick's dragster at 450 reaction time. Gothrop at 461. Here comes Dick. No, Gothrop gets there first, but he breaks out. Mark Gothrop goes 1064 on a 1066 dial-in. Kevin Dick also breaks out, but he breaks out by less. Kevin Dick goes 854 with a 7 on an 855 dial-in for the win at 154 miles an hour. And losing 1064 with a 4 for Gothrop on a 1066 dial-in. 3,000th of a second breakout. Kevin Dick. Single in the first round will be Kelly Brown. Spanky's Bar, Tim's Auto sponsored 450 and Chevy power dragster. Kelly Brown will get the bye. odd number of cars in the field. That 1990 Neal & Park chassis dragster, 454 cubic inch Chevrolet motor. Kelly Brown goes 892. 892 for Kelly Brown, 149 miles an hour.
It's gonna be so shitty because I keep kicking the bugs off of it.
Roy Davidson making a test run. Vega, big block Chevy powered Vega. Brand new race car, sponsored by BGW Cylinder Head, Springfield Motorsports. 477 cubic inch Chevrolet motor in the car. For Roy Davis. Tower Lane entry. Right with the national security sponsor. We put the point down in at 11:48. Over the spectator lane. Ed Smith. Springfield Autotech Consolidated Autotech Machine Shop, Springfield Motorsports sponsored 73 Vega, 355 cubic inch motor. Ed Smith now is 11:30. 48 for the Dreamweaver, the Tower Lane, Little Vega, 11:30. Dreamweaver takes the win. He goes 11:55 at 109 miles an hour on an 11:48 dial-in. Losing 11:32 for Smith on 11:30 dial-in. Chudo's reaction time 6:52. Little Vega at 9:50. Andy Chudo's Dreamweaver will advance. 1450 dial-in the Tower Lane for Richard Wong's Mustang. Over in the spectator lane, Rene Saunier. His Malibu dialed at a 1327. First round of bracket. Spectator lane, Rene Saunier gets 63 on a 1327 dial-in. Losing 1546 for Wong, 50 dial-in. Next up in the Tower Lane, the Reston Rocket, Brian Ludlam. Nova dialed in at a 1051. Over in the spectator lane, Chuck Murray, 75 Camaro, dialed in at a 13 Murray. Red light on Murray. Light on the Camaros, the Tower Lane, Brian Ludlam. 1049 and 1130. Tower Lane. 1499 dial-in for Charles Bertram Plymouth. Over the spectator lane, Ken Roy's Fire Chicken Racing Team Ventura dialed in at a 1380. Their first 1466 is a breakout for Bertrand. The wind will go over the spectator lane. Ken Roy goes 1387 right on his dial-in at 94 miles an hour for the win. Automatic wing goes to call Warwick Mustang. Mustang goes 1300 at 105. Losing 1322 with the red light. Barracuda dial there, 1300 on the power lane, RF Auto Fund. So Aldo Gasparo takes the win at a 1430 at 77 miles an hour. Auto win. Mike Kushniak, the Wild Horses, Horrible Wild Horses, 66 Malibu, dialed in at 1170, sponsored by Auto Parts World. Spectator lane, we have Spoke Anderson, the Fly Monster, plus the Riverbed Motor Sales Quarter Quickly, 68 440 Dart, dialed at 1155. First tower lane, 1178, good for the wind push. Spectator lane, Ron Leclerc, 69 satellite down to 1397. Metro 71 Ventura. Next pair, Kelvin Berger, Wally Stillman. Kelvin Berger, the Team Crank Auto Parts Center dragster, also sponsored by Gary's Racing Tram. 355 cubic inch Chevrolet powered Mark Spitzer chassis dragster. Dialed at a 901 in competition. Spectator lane, Wally Stelmack, 396 cubic inch Chevrolet powered 1989 Nealon Park chassis dragster. Stelmack dialed at a 902. Calvin Berger, tower lane, a 901 dial in. Spectator lane, 902 dial in for Wally Stelmack. Dialed in at 901. Spectator lane, Wally Stelmack dragster to Winnipeg, dialed in at a 902. This is round 2 of Super Eliminator here at Dragways International Superbike Sunday. Calvin Berger, a 4:08 reaction time. Calvin Berger. the tower lane. Dialed in an 8:56. His competition spectator lane, the Doctor Who Mustang of Brian Preisinger, sponsored by Spanky's Bar. 1983 Mustang, 287 cubic inches of thickness. Brian will dial at a 997. 8:56 dialed in the tower lane for Kevin Dick, a 997 for Brian Preisinger. A little under 1.5 second head start, going to go to the Doctor Who Mustang. Kevin Dick, a 4:08 reaction time to Preisinger's 5:10. Here comes Kevin Dick. He breaks out. Kevin Dick goes 8:52 on an 8:50. Kelly Brown up next in the tower lane. Spanky's Bar, Tim's Auto sponsored Neil and Park chassis dragster, 454 cubic inch Chevrolet motor. Kelly's dialed at an 892. Spectator lane, Brian Wheatley, the BTW cylinder head sponsor. 380 cubic inch Chevrolet motor. Brian's dialed at an 897. Kelly Brown, tower lane, an 892 dial in. Spectator lane, Brian Wheatley dialed in at 897. At 892 in the tower lane for Kelly Brown. 897 dial in spectator lane for Brian Wheatley. Brian Wheatley a 4:98 reaction time to Brown's 5:15. Brian Wheatley gets there first. He breaks out. He goes 894 on an 897 dial in. Kelly Brown also breaks out. He goes 888 on an 892. Brian Wheatley will take the win, breaking out by less. Wheatley goes 894 with a 1 on an 897 dial in. 888 for Brown on an 892. Brian Wheatley will take the win. 888 on an 892 for Kelly Brown. A couple of double breakout wins here, rounds and super eliminators, driving our calculator to the brink. Frank Saffin is his crew member, his crew chief. Bruce Everly is making a pass, and Frank's Camaro to be an easy run. .973 at 146 miles an hour.
Finally, I got him to wave to me. Billy. Zoomed in on him.
One before the rain comes.
For Rennie Saunier, good for the win on a 1327 dial in over the spectator lane, losing 1391 for Ken Roy on a 1380 dial in.